Hey, this is Udon Noodler, and today I'm going to teach you how to build a cave circuit for your base in Rust. So, the main problem with building cave bases is you can't get solar or wind power down there very easily. The biggest thing that we run into is if you do find a cave that does allow you to run solar or wind power down to it that is shallow enough, it takes about 7 hours. So let's go ahead and get straight into it. I'm going to show you the circuit I created, and hopefully you can enjoy a cave base that has defenses as well.
Alright, so before we actually build the circuit, I want to go ahead and show you how the circuit works. So, give you a brief overview. It feeds from the generator into the root combiner into the battery into your control circuit. As you can see, your control circuit is only going to use 10 power, saving you energy. And then from the control circuit, it's going to feed through this blocker into your turret circuitry. Now, when an enemy approaches your base, activate your heartbeat sensor. All your circuitry is going to turn on, using only 33, kicking on both generators simultaneously. With their combined output of 80, you're still going to be charging. As you can see, the timer timed the circuit. As soon as the timer was done, it kicked all power off to the turret circuitry and left only the control circuit on, using only 10 energy, and also simultaneously kicking off the generators, saving you on fuel and power from your battery. While in standby mode, you have about 15 hours. With a full battery, I'd say you're pretty close to 16 hours of runtime. The cool thing about this is if the heartbeat sensor is activated, and it activates all your turret circuitry, when the timer goes off, if there's still an enemy within range of the heartbeat sensor, your turretry will stay on. Now, if that enemy steps away, it'll automatically shut down, once again saving you energy and fuel. So let's go ahead and discuss what you're going to need to build this circuit. So the first thing you're going to need is 10 branches. 1 root combiner, 1 memory unit, 2 blockers, 1 AND gate, 1 XOR gate, 1 timer, 2 generators, 1 battery, 1 heartbeat sensor, and 1 turret. To save a little time, I went ahead and placed the generators, the battery, the turret, and the heartbeat sensor already. And honestly, I prefer to do it that way. Even in server, I like to place all of these things first. So let's go ahead and get started. First thing we're going to need is our branches, our root combiner, our memory unit, and our blocker. You can see on the battery side of the circuit, the control circuit side, you need 4 branches. 4 branches, the 1 root combiner, the 1 memory unit, and 1 of your 2 blockers, the XOR and the AND gate. So I like to start right here and drop our branch and our root combiner. Now I like to come over here, drop the root combiner instead of a branch. Just gonna leave that there. Come over here, drop our 3 branches, our memory unit, our blocker, come up here, drop our AND gate, and our XOR gate. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to run wires for the control circuit. So the first thing you want to do is hook up both your power outs to your root combiner. And I'm not going to make this look pretty, I'm just going to hook it up to save time. And then run power from your root combiner into your battery. Now you're going to run power from your force start, or from your electrical branch. So connect both your force starts to your electrical branch. And we'll go ahead and connect this electrical branch to our AND gate. Now let's look at our branches on the wall. So first things first, we're going to connect power from the first branch to the second branch, and power out from the second branch to the third branch. Our first branch is going to connect to AND switch input A. Our second branch's branch out is going to connect to XOR switch input A. And our third branch out is going to connect to our heartbeat sensor. The power out from your third branch is going to connect to your memory unit power in. The output on your memory unit is going to connect to your blocker power in, and the inverted output on your blocker or on your memory unit is going to connect to your block pass-through on your blocker. Our heartbeat sensor is going to connect from power out to the set setting on your memory unit. Notice I did not connect power to this yet, and there's a reason for that, and we're going to get into that. So now our control circuitry is done. That's that easy, not too hard. Now is where it's going to get a little more complex. On this side, we're going to need 5, 6 electrical branches. So the first thing we want to do is set up our electrical branch over here. And then we're going to set up our 5 here. There's all 5 of them. We also need our timer and our blocker over here. Timer, blocker. Alright, so now let's run our wires. I like to start on this. So, branch out from this branch is going to go to force stop. And then the power out on this same branch is going to go to the other generator force stop. Now we're going to come over to this first branch that feeds our XOR. We're going to configure it to send out or branch off 4 power, because we're going to want that 4 going all the way to this. Alright, so now we're back over here. Our first branch we're going to connect to our AND switch, input B. And we're going to configure that to send out 4 power as well. Our power out is going to connect to the power in of our next branch. The branch out on our next branch is going to connect to our XOR switch. The power out on our XOR switch is going to connect to the power in on our second branch down here. The power out on this branch is going to connect to the power in on the next branch. And the branch out on this is going to connect to the timer. Now this is important. You need to connect the timer third. And the reason for that is the power out from this is going to go to your next branch, and you're going to branch power off to the toggle. Well, the toggle doesn't work if the switch doesn't have power. So the switch has to receive power first, otherwise this circuit will never work. So we're going to go power out to power in, and then we're going to go ahead and branch out to the power in on our blocker. The power out on our blocker is going to connect to the reset on our memory unit, and the output on our timer is going to connect to our block pass-through. So what I like to do is make sure that we are going to get that signal through. It's going to branch off 2 power. That should be more than enough to send our signal. And then I like to connect the power out over to the turret itself. Now, I like to set it just a tad bit higher, but I'm pretty sure you can run it on 2. I also do the same thing for our timer circuitry. Pretty sure you can run it on 2, but I like to set it to 3. So, in order to set up our timer, if you want to adjust the time at all, I always connect the battery to it, which gives me an opportunity to go in and set the duration. I always set it to 10 seconds because why would you set it to anything else? You're trying to conserve power and fuel here, so 10 seconds is best, especially since the circuit, if they're still within the heartbeat sensor, the circuit stays live. Alright, so now let's go ahead and connect our power out to our very first branch. Our control circuit is now live. And let's trip our heartbeat sensor. As you can see, you should connect the blocker power out to your first branch down here. As you can see, everything shuts down. We're using 10 energy. Both our generators shut down. It's all good. Come back in here, turn it on, fix both generators on. Turret becomes live, starts shooting at me. Even if we run out of time here and our timer turns off, everything stays live until that heartbeat sensor can no longer see me.
Alright, I hope you found that video helpful and you're able to make yourself a cave circuit to defend your base and put turrets up. Something to keep in mind, also, you can hook another large battery up in series to that first one and get yourself about 32 hours of runtime out of that, so you don't have to monitor it as much. So if you enjoyed this, please hit the like button. Also, you can come check me out at twitch.tv/udonnoodler. I stream 7:30 to 11:30 p.m. Pacific time, Monday through Friday, and I stream various times on the weekend. Thank you.